years, my folks got tired of listening to what was on the radio. I mean, the same thing probably could be said by some of our people even in this day and age, but they were jazz fans and big jazz lovers, lived in rural North Carolina in Warrenton, did not hear any of that on the radio, not even as far down in Durham and everything when they could get signals. So they were not pleased. So with no kind of background, kind of like you and your husband, with no background really in radio, my dad was trained as a civics engineer, and my mom was trained as a guidance counselor. They went and started their own radio station that stayed on the air for about a little over 10 years because it came on before I went to high school, and it was on during my high school years and my college years and went off maybe in like 87, 88, somewhere around there. So it was on for about 10 years, maybe 10 plus years, but they had no background. The people that they went in partnership with didn't really have any radio background as well, but they've trained people that have since gone on to fame in radio. Gerald Neely is in New Orleans and had been at one of the Radio 1 stations here a number of years back, and there's some others that have gone on to radio success that were trained there, and includes the people that appeared there as artists that have gone on to commercial fame in the music industry. But definitely I can understand that whole concept of not having a background in what you're trying to do, because I saw that with my parents. That's where I kind of learned some of my radio background, but neither one of them in starting the station had any clue about the radio background. They did have, like you, I think they had at least a semblance of a business. Matter of fact, I know they had to have a semblance of a business plan because the FCC would have required that. But other than that, they were going in cold turkey.
Wow. Well, it's a bold thing for anyone to do. My husband and I are constantly looking at each other like, can you believe we've done this? But it's in the same way. It's sort of that energizing, the way like riding a roller coaster or doing anything that scares you gives you energy. And I think that's how we feel most days. So I hope that your listeners will come pay us a visit at Bull City Mini. We'd love to see them. And if people come and they have suggestions for how we can make the experience better, we are always listening, and we take constructive criticism really well. You can email us at popup@bullcitymini.com. And we would love to be a part of the community long term. So hope to talk to you again soon.
Definitely. And is there a website for Bull City Mini also?
Yeah, it's bullcitymini.com. And you can also follow for sort of updates on, live music or events happening. If you follow us on Instagram, which is just at Bull City Mini. That's city with a Y and mini with an I.
So Mini with the I, like the Mini Mart store, and City, the standard spelling for city, that's where you would find it. And you did say you're on Instagram. Is Bull City Mini on Facebook or any other social media that people should know about?
We are. We're on Twitter at Bull City Mini, and we have a Facebook page. We do most of our communication out through Instagram because we think photos are such a fun way to show people enjoying the course. But, yes, we do have Twitter, and we also have a Facebook page, so people can reach out that way. Yeah.
And before we let you go, and I'm going to let you go, and then I think I got one more that might be calling in shortly, but before I let you go and everything, in terms of entrepreneurship, has this lit a fire that you have other entrepreneurship ideas, or do y'all just want to see this go where it's going to go, or have y'all already started thinking about other entrepreneurship ideas? Because I know that what happens sometimes is people, after they become entrepreneurs, they become what they call serial entrepreneurs, because then they start thinking about other things that they want to do. So I didn't know whether y'all were just content with Bull City Mini as is right now, or whether you and your husband are already thinking about other ideas on a constant basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think people have said that to us, that, becoming an entrepreneur gets in your blood, and all of a sudden you can't stop thinking of new ideas to chase. I think that so far, ask me in a month, but so far, being an entrepreneur and being in business with my husband, Ben, who is a really lovely human being and someone I really enjoy being with, spending more time together doing hard work that we love in a city that we love doesn't sound too bad to me. So I would love to be, more often an entrepreneur than not. And I also am really encouraged by how many husband-wife or otherwise partnered couples are making it in Durham. Monuts, Cocoa Cinnamon, the Dashi and Toast folks,
Sure.
The guys, the wonderful couple, Serena and her husband from Barrique with Soul, who are coming to American Tobacco Campus, Jetta Tea. oh gosh, the list goes on and on. I mean, there are lots of, partnered couples that are entrepreneuring in Durham, and I think that's a good sign for Durham, and I hope it's a good sign for us.
Yeah, it sounds like a great sign for y'all and everything. Now, the other thing that entrepreneurs always talk about is the fact that, and you just mentioned that both you and your husband have day jobs. Do you see at any point where you would just be concentrating strictly on the business, or do you always see yourself doing both together in order to maintain survival and live in it? Because I do know some entrepreneurs that try to maintain the regular job and then the entrepreneurship ideas, and then there's some that are just totally committed, like you just mentioned a few. Like I know that the Kelly and her husband, who is the person you're talking about with Toast, that seems to be their business, is running restaurants. The same with, and they're about to have a child, the folks that are running what was the Havana Cafe, and now they're got Copas, but they're
oh, right.
Because that's another couple, and I know that, but they're in two different businesses to some degree, because he's more of the restaurateur, and she's always been involved in publishing and things of that nature, even though she has helped with the restaurants as well. But her background, both her and her family, has been in publishing. So I didn't know whether you thought of yourself as just strictly doing the entrepreneurship and keeping the entrepreneurship locked in, or whether you were thinking of doing other things, or maintaining the job and the entrepreneurship, or whether you will try to balance the two and family, because that's a lot of balancing.
It's a lot of balancing. I think our vision is to be, at some point in our lives, corporate America dropouts who are mini golf business owners full time, with one caveat, and that is, since I left I was in-house for 15, 16 years in corporate life, and now that I'm fractional and work for myself on my marketing business, I really enjoy it. I like the flexibility it gives me, and I also really like getting to move from client to client, solving new problems. I always say my goal is to work my way out of a job, and so for each client, and I love that. I find that really life-giving, and I could see myself continuing to do some marketing consulting for the rest of my career as part of our income, and as just part of our sort of our drumbeat of our life. But yeah, I think if this goes well and we're able to financially make this take on more and more of our hours, I think both of us would be interested in what that could look like. We love the idea of being business owners in Durham and in the community, and we also love the idea of being in business together. If you're fortunate enough to be married to someone you really like, it's nice to spend more time with them.
Definitely. That's always a great thing. And I can, Dean has definitely been married for a long time to his partner, and they've been running everything from helping each other with businesses to projects and things of that nature, and support each other on the public side. I've had some significant others. We haven't got to that point of the whole marriage thing, so hopefully that will come my way, and then it'll be a partnership, kind of what y'all are talking about, and things of that nature, because that's definitely what I'm looking forward to. But it also sounds like y'all are following another trend as well, which is that a lot of just the workforce in general is doing more of the remote kind of working. And it sounds like y'all, I don't know whether your husband is, he might be going to an office every day, but definitely with your work, it sounds like you're falling right into that trend as well, because even with measurement, more and more of the work is being done remotely. And I know a lot of people are literally doing their work from their home, even if they are working for corporations or having various kinds of clients. And it sounds like, at least on your career track, you're falling right into that.
Yeah, so, I traveled for years and years and years, all over the place for work. And now that I, am doing this fractional chief marketing officer gig, I work out of American Underground. I have a co-working hot desk there right on Main Street. And Ben his company also has an office at American Underground. So we have a pretty small house in Northgate Park, which is where I'm calling you from today. We don't have a lot of room for an office. So it's nice for us to go into American Underground most days and have a dedicated place where we do our work. But yeah, I think the idea of doing work remotely, doing work more flexibly, and sort of being part of this new economy of people who are, call it fractional, call it agile, call it, the gig economy, whatever you want to call it. But it's sort of this idea that you don't necessarily have to fall into the traditional 9-to-5, full-time employee rhythm in order to make a living and in order to do work that's satisfying. And in so many ways, I think I couldn't be doing Bull City Mini the way we are if I was still traveling to New York every week as I was in my last corporate job. I need to be here, right? I don't have to be here every second of every day, but I need to be locally. I need to be present, and having a more local life really facilitates that being able to focus on a couple things at once.
Yep, and workspaces have become so big as well. I'm thinking about like WeWorks and Union Station, and even at American Tobacco. It seems like every time I turn around, more and more of those workspaces are becoming very popular. And I've got friends like Miss Scott, Susan Scott, who I know is involved with Union House.
Yeah.
And Jessica's involved with all of them. So it seems to me that they're just becoming very much a part of the our work environment here in Durham. And I would argue the Triangle, because I know some of those things like American Tobacco or the Underground have kind of like even gone into Raleigh and some of the other cities around us and even other parts of the country. So we're seeing more of that too, where people are doing, like you said, work from their homes and in their houses, but also coming to like these workspaces that are available throughout the area. So that's been a real interesting trend to watch as well.
Yeah, it's great. It gives you camaraderie. It gives you company. You know, I mean, it can be isolating working alone, and so it's nice to have other people, even if they're not doing the same work or working for the same company or the same client. It's just nice to be doing work alongside other people. And I think American Underground and WeWork and Union Member House have really tapped into that need, which is, you know, a need for relational community and support, right? I mean, it's just nice to see other people who are doing the consultant or the contractor or the freelance life. And I think that's part of what drives that model.
Yeah, and I love that model, because sometimes when you're doing it in your house and you're doing it in these apartment neighborhoods or even housing neighborhoods, a lot of times you find yourself, as a society in general, just being kind of isolated. Because I know in one of our past shows we were talking about the fact that we don't always even know our own next door neighbors. But if you're in these kind of work environments, you're actually getting to know these people, because the environment puts you in that kind of context where you want to get engaged in them because they're doing similar kind of work, even if it's not the same field. Like you're doing mini golf, the next person might be doing something with the airline industry, but it's a consultant thing with the airline industry. So it's just really interesting seeing those kind of ways that people can do more engagement, because that's one of the things that I think society has kind of gotten away from, is we don't always engage with our neighbors, or even, for that matter, our own families.
Yeah, so true.
So it's good seeing that kind of stuff.
Great.
Now, Phil, I'm going to let you go. If folks want to reach out to you, could you give the email one more time? And also, if you could let folks know any particular things that you would like them to do with you, like if you want them to come up with other ideas, if you want them to just to come to the spot, and if you want to give the hours one more time, then we'll let you go. But if you want to give the ways that they can reach you and what you would like the community to do in terms of reaching out to you and what you would like to see from the community.
Absolutely. So Bull City Mini is located on American Tobacco campus at 359 Blackwell Street. We are right in between Only Burger and the Durham Bull Stadium. You can't miss us. There's free parking on nights and weekends in all the north and south lots on American Tobacco campus. And rumor has it that if you go to those lots during a DPAC event or a Bulls game and tell them that you're here to go to Bull City Mini or one of the American Tobacco restaurants, they'll usually let you park for free. There's also good ample parking kind of on the south side neighborhood coming up Blackwell Street under 147 overpass. So check us out. We are open Thursday through Sunday from 12 noon to 10 p.m. Our patio is a great place to watch the Durham Bulls fireworks. So please come and enjoy that with us. And you can also, if you're interested in booking a birthday party, children's or adults, or a corporate team building outing or any other private party, we do reserve Wednesdays for private events. And you can get in touch with us at POPUP, that's POPUP, at bullcitymini.com. Follow us on Instagram at bullcitymini, and visit our website, which is bullcitymini.com. And we'd love to see you, Durham, and we'd love your feedback both on this course and ideas for our future course, both location and also we'll be doing another call for entries. More community design holes are in our future. So if you're interested in that, there's a sign up to be on our newsletter list. You can add your email to that list on our website so you can receive updates if and when we are ready to make those announcements. I think that's it.
Well, all right. Well, definitely look forward to it. I'm going to try to make it there this weekend to check out the course, because I'm definitely into recreational stuff. I look at my fact that I was even on Mother's Day, I was thinking to myself, I need to lose a little weight because Mom was giving me a little bit of a hard time and everything, as was my younger brother. So I probably need to do a little bit more